This is my state, this is my team. You know what that means. This is for the black and blue that I bleed. This is for the chance to bring home that ring. But everybody gonna doubt this. So far there ain't been another way around it. We bring heat to the game each week. They just say we ain't got what it takes, we ain't bout it. Well, y'all can just keep saying that we ain't gonna make it, but at the end of the day, this will be the Panthers nation. You know, this ain't a game to us major players at every angle that you can think of. That's why you hate us. Get out the way of greatness. You can look in our faces and see the blood, sweat, and tears that it took to create this. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, but you can save it. Cause even on the darkest of days, you know we're always gonna find a way to tell them what we gonna do, we gotta
All right, people, what's good? Welcome to episode number 26 of the Panther Nation podcast. I'm Rashad.
And I'm David. What's going on, guys? 4-1, baby.
4-1 in these streets. Hey, look, man, I'm a little bit under the weather. It was a long weekend. Shout out to the Aggies. Shout out to G-Ho. Had a great time. It's been a long weekend, Absolutely. But we going to power through it.
We definitely are, man. It was a long weekend, to say the least. But it was fun. It was fun.
Lots of fun, man. Always good to be back in Greensboro, man.
Absolutely.
But all right. Before we hop into the game review, we got a couple housekeeping notes that we got to take care of. There was a couple of roster movement things that we need to take a look at, analyze, give our thoughts. First up, we reached an injury settlement with Jeremy Cash, which means he's no longer with the Panthers. Kind of sad to see Jeremy go. He went to Duke. Shout out to Duke. But any thoughts on Jeremy Cash being out of here?
I was kind of disappointed, but I can understand why they did it. I really like the kid, so hopefully he'll once he gets healthy, he can go somewhere else and flourish there.
Yeah, he was one of those undersized guys. Kind of fought. He was undrafted, fought to get on the roster. It sucks to see guys like those get cut or get hurt and then get cut. But you know that's the NFL for you. Next up, we ended up signing Zeke Bigger to the practice squad. He was with us all training camp. So it was good to see him come back. I think he's from ECU, a little bit bigger than Cash was. Oh wow, a little bit bigger than Cash. But yeah, it's we had to replace the linebacker, so that's kind of is what it is. Any thoughts on Zeke? Did you have a chance to check him out?
Nah, not really. I don't have too many thoughts on that move.
All right. Then we had to move a couple guys to IR. Demir Bird jacked his arm up, so he's off to IR. Deshaun Hall also off to IR, which sucks. Our whole freaking draft class is either hurt or not playing. You really got Christian McCaffrey's the only guy that's been day one. It's been consistent since day one as far as playing time goes. Curtis Samuel's been hurt. Deshaun Hall's hurt. Corn Elder's hurt. Damn, Harrison Butker's shining with the Chiefs. So this might be one of the worst. This could be a really bad draft class. What you think? What you think about Deshaun Hall and Demir Bird?
Maybe that's why Gettleman got out of here, man. Maybe somebody knew beforehand that we were going to have all these injury problems and all these issues with our players. This is crazy.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. This draft class is kind of crazy if you think about it. Moulton's not really playing like that. He's buried. Like I didn't think, man, as far as his training camp goes, he had a good training camp, a good mini camp. But dude is like buried on the roster. Like he's getting no love. And then Arma's not playing, and I don't anticipate seeing him. So all we got is Christian McCaffrey, and hopefully Curtis Samuel can turn his season around. It's been kind of slow start for him as far as injuries goes, but hopefully we can get him going.
Yeah, I mean, now granted, I'm not ready to call folks bust yet either. Like it's too early in the process.
Usually, man, I don't know, man. Usually, you quick to call somebody a bust, man.
I give him at least a year or two.
Your bust meter is pretty quick. Pause. Your bust meter is.
I give like him a year or two to show. I just have a different opinion on busts, particularly if it's injury based. Some folks say, "Oh, you shouldn't count that." I do. When we drafted a guy, he's got to show something within the first 3 years.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right. So that being said, Brian Cox and Desmond Southward got signed to the active roster. I remember we talked about Brian Cox and how I talked about Brian Cox and how excited I was for him, and it's dope that he actually got called up to the main roster. So it's cool to see him. And we all talked about Desmond Southward too, about why he wasn't being called up to the roster when we were in this safety search, kind of where he was at in the process. And good to see him because he was actually decent. He just was getting run over, especially in that I forgot what preseason game it was. He was catching. It was the Steelers against the Steelers. He was catching L's. Their running back was like trucking the dude. But yeah, no, it's good to see those two. You got any thoughts on those?
Nah, not really, man. I'm not concerned about them yet. I honestly want to go in and talk about this game, man. I'm gonna be honest.
We gotta get there. It's a process, man. It's a process. But we gotta talk about real quick. We're gonna get there, but we gotta talk about Jairus Byrd too. We ended up signing Jairus Byrd. I don't know if you guys follow us on Twitter, but there's a good bird and there's a bad bird. The good bird played with the Bills. The bad bird played with the Saints, and he was very bad. But that defense as a whole was trash. So hopefully, he's much better with the front seven we have. Hopefully he's able to fare better with our defense. What you think about Jairus Byrd?
Yeah, I'll talk about Jairus. I think considering the circumstances, I think this was a good pickup for us. He hasn't supplanted Colin Jones yet, but I anticipate that happening soon. The snap count in the previous game, it was close to half, but Colin still had more snaps at the free safety position. So, but I think over time, Jairus Kirk Coleman comes back.
Which is very telling, considering we just signed a guy like literally this week or this past week, and he's already got 50% of. I know he's a veteran, but geez, it's crazy. But yeah, good depth piece. I was saying I was asking why we wouldn't sign Jairus Byrd in training camp. I feel like we should have signed him a long time ago for depth purposes. But I'm glad we finally got somebody that with experience in the secondary and not just having Colin Jones.
Yeah, maybe he was asking for more in training camp versus now.
Maybe that's a good point. That's a very good point, actually. Very good point.
I'm leaning towards that because the way our safety position was hitting, he could have possibly thought, "Hey, this is some leverage that I can utilize," because we really didn't have any depth at the safety position at all going into training camp to begin with, and then we didn't draft one, so we were fine with going in with what we had at the time.
That's a good point because I don't know what the numbers are. I haven't seen his numbers, but like I said, there's good bird and bad bird. Hopefully, we got the good bird. Hopefully, he'll be a good solid depth piece when Coleman comes back. If Coleman comes back as he previously as he played prior to his injury, hopefully there's nothing lingering with his injury and we don't have to rush him back because we have Bird. All right, so enough of Bird. Do you want to take the time to talk about the Cam Newton controversy? Typically, I know with this podcast,
you have to, man.
I know typically with this podcast, this is kind of my thing. I kind of make the call on this is that we kind of keep it football, right? We don't talk politics or other kind of crap on this. We don't like to talk about that on this podcast. We like to keep it funky, keep it fresh. But I figure we go ahead and talk about, Cam Newton's comments on the to Jordan Rodriguez, which is an excellent reporter, by the way. She's great. If you don't know, she's works for the Charlotte Observer. Obviously, everybody knows by now, but she is actually a really good writer. And I've seen her a couple times at practice. But Cam Newton kind of, said it was funny that women knew about routes. We all know what he meant, but obviously it got blown out of proportion. Your thoughts, Dave?
Yeah, it was meant to be funny. The delivery wasn't good enough, and the perception changed real fast. I think if Jordan would have not brought it up, this might not have been a major issue. But I think it could have been a situation where
wait, hold on. Let me stop you right there. Bring it up as in tweet after the fact, right? After the fact, she tweeted that it wasn't funny. She didn't find it funny that women knew about roots. Just to kind of, I don't want anybody taking this and running with it, but I just wanted to stop you there. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So I think once that storm began, and then it brought back what was said after at one point her and Cam tried to talk about it and it still didn't resolve itself. Then you got the national media getting involved, CNN's getting involved. He supposedly lost but I guess reports show that Dannon was getting ready to boot him anyway. So this gave him an out, so to speak. So it wasn't
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so what reports were saying that Dannon was trying to find a way to get out the contract anyway. This gave them the exit to make it happen. This gave him the out. I think Dak Prescott's going to be the next spokesperson for Dannon. Yeah. So people were saying, "Oh, Cam didn't do it wrong." I didn't think Cam meant to be as insensitive as he was, but in 2017, everything's recorded. Things get taken out of proportion. It only takes 10 seconds to ruin a career nowadays. So,
yeah, it's sad. Yeah, it's really sad because I think he meant it, and I think he said that today or sometime this week that it was meant to be a compliment, and he didn't mean for it. All he had to do was say no offense or something. He didn't. It sounded like the sound bite was real bad. The clip was bad. Like the headline was gonna be bad. Like as soon as he said it, I cringed. And I was like, man, this is about to get blown up way out of proportion. And you know what? Here's my thing, though. Here's I'm gonna get my soapbox real quick. I don't think us as people should look up to these athletes to be the moral compass. I mean, everybody's got to have their own use your own brain to think. Cam Newton is his own person. He's human. At the end of the day, we all know that by now. If you're a Panthers fan, Cam Newton is human. He's not invincible. He's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna say bad things. We know that. Don't look to Cam Newton or any other athlete, Colin Kaepernick or anybody, to be your moral compass. Think for yourself sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my personal soapbox. I don't want to talk about it no more because I think nobody judged me. I'm about to say something real quick. Nobody judged me, right? I was home. I worked from home today, right? And I just so happened, it was a show. The View was on, right? I'm just gonna say The View was on. I wasn't watching it. It was just on in the background, right? And they just so happened to talk about Cam, and then that caught my attention. And they were saying a lot of them were defending Cam in that he didn't mean it that way. And there was one of the chicks, she was saying that he shouldn't have said that, blah 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 blah. But the other three were like, he didn't mean it. He apologized. Case closed. Let's move on. So that coming from women makes me think that I think this is pretty much over and done with. He issued an apology. I don't think we'll hear anything about this anymore, especially after this amazing game we just had. I don't think we'll hear about it. I think it's over and done. Case closed. It is what it is. Anything else?
Even though I don't know what's going to happen to Jordan, man, because she hasn't tweeted in a while because I guess, the internet's very ruthless. So they went and found some tweets that she said that were pretty insensitive. And it kind of changed the perception just a little bit. It backfired pretty bad. So, I don't think she's racist, but I'm just one person.
Slim J says she taking
And
leave. Is that a voluntary leave, or I'm interested to? It's all, this whole thing is crazy. It got blown way out of proportion. She got called out.
yep.
It is what it is. That this is what happens.
Yep.
Like, you can't say anything nowadays. Your background got to be clean. You got to make sure your house is in order before you go try to crucify somebody else. So it all sucks, this whole thing, but I think it's over and done with. So that being said, it's over with. We're gonna move on as well. Probably won't hear us talk about it anymore or any other issue. Kneeling, we don't. I don't really. I don't want to talk about it. So
We can do a whole episode on kneeling, man.
Yeah, we're good on that. That's why I don't want to talk about it. So
Yeah.
all right, so
Let's move on.
Yep. All right. So before the game, we had quite a surprise about Vernon Butler being inactive. What was your initial thoughts about that?
I was stunned, but then I found out. Then Rivera said after the game the reason why they did it was because they felt like they needed another defensive end, so he was the last man out.
Yo, they definitely.
But when I first saw it,
yeah, they did put out a statement or something.
Yeah, man. Because when I saw it Sunday morning, I'm thinking to myself, that's the guy that's supposed to replace Star.
Yeah, that kind of alarming. He got crucified on Twitter from Panthers fans. They would call him a bust. They were killing him Vernon Butler on Twitter, man. I was like, sheesh. I'm gonna hold my reservations till we find out the story, and that's exactly what happened. All right, they wanted extra deep defensive end. No big deal. No story there. So, all right. That being said, let's move on. Let's talk about this game. Let's get a little bit of All right, let's stop before we get flagged. But all right,
the rules, man.
Yeah. Shout out to the that was an amazing game. Amazing game. What's your initial thoughts off the dome? Go at it, Dave.
We can't run the ball to save our life.
Well, I mean, we talked about it though. The Vikings. I meant the Lions had a good run defense. Yeah, we knew that. We knew that was going to happen.
I know. Doesn't mean it doesn't change the fact that we only ran for 28 yards. But overall, it was a great win. Get him in the air, and that's exactly what we did. And Kelvin beat Darius Slay on a touchdown, man.
I told you. I told you he was getting slayed, man. KB, I've been saying this. KB is unguardable. Like, you cannot guard KB. You can't. There's no cornerback that can guard KB when he uses his body, yo. Nobody.
Funches had a better day. Dixon went ham sandwich. Yeah. They couldn't guard a tight end to save their life.
Man, let's go ahead and hold on. Let's go ahead and give it up. Let's give it up for Ed Dixon, man. Gotta give it up for Ed Dixon, man. What a game, bro. Greg Olsen, who, man? Who is Greg Olsen, bro?
Nah, fam. Let's not go there. Yeah, I mean, he was responsible for pretty much half of Cam Newton's passing yards. Like 5 catches, 175 yards, man.
Yeah, he went off, man. Yeah, and you know what? Cam, shout out to Cam because he was hitting him. Cam hit him wide open. He beautiful passes, man. Beautiful passes from Cam Newton, bro.
Completions in the entire game.
78%. I think 78%. Yep, 78%. I think he's up to on the year. He's up to like 68, I believe. He's been very accurate.
We said this is how it was going to be.
Yep,
this is how it's going to be now.
Short pass. I think his average pass is like 7 yards or something like that. His average pass yardage per pass is at 7 yards.
Yep.
So that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Cam looks like 2015 Cam right now, which is scary for the rest of the league. He looks great. So hopefully we're saying that, Cam is the first 3 games version of Cam is over. That's behind us. And now this the past 2 games we've seen from Cam, hopefully that's the norm. Because if it is, we're gonna be good and really good. And I don't want to get off on my Shula soapbox yet, but let's talk about. So we talked about Cam. He 26 of 33 attempts for 355 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That's great. That's great. Can't beat that, man.
Can't have a better game. Can't have too much of a better game than that one, my man.
So, and it's also the first time Newton has thrown for 300 plus yards in back-to-back games since the first 2 games of his career. It's impressive, man. Impressive.
Too, because he lost his first 2 games of his career and he won these last 2. So this is the Cam you want to see.
Yep. And we already talked about Ed Dixon a little bit. He caught all 5 of his targets for 175 yards. Greg Olsen, who? So can we kind of? I want to kind of take this. I asked this question to myself when I was watching the game. So is it a scheme thing or is it Greg Olsen? Which one is it? I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the question. Is it a scheme? Because that I was always wondered how Greg Olsen got so daggone wide open. He was always wide open. I'm like, man, Greg is just that good. But I was watching Ed. I'm like, yo, Ed is wide open. Like I don't get how Ed Dixon is so wide open. So I asked myself, is it a scheme? Is it Shula getting him so wide open? Is it dare not be Mike Shula getting guys open? Is he a tight end magician?
Maybe that's Shula's gig, man. He makes tight ends elite. Greg Olsen.
So which one is it, man? Is it Greg or no, man? Is it Ed Dixon or Greg? Is Greg Olsen replaceable?
Ed Dixon made some history with this day for our tight end, for a Carolina tight end. He made some history on this day. Maybe they saw something in Detroit defense, so it could. I'm leaning towards scheme.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that the Lions, they weren't prepared for Ed Dixon. This is his breakout game. Ed Dixon he had a very good game last game against the Patriots as well. Not like this, but he was getting open, he was catching balls. But I think Mike Shula prepared for this and noticed that they can't cover tight ends. So I think shout out to Mike Shula and Ed Dixon. Because nobody else, none of the chat cats or you are going to give me the credit. So I
just gave him credit. I just gave him credit.
I
was going to give him credit. I'll give him credit for this one. He'll get credit for that. He called a pretty good game overall. I mean, the only beef I had, and you already know what I'm going to say, the only beef I had was that he lacked aggression near the end of the game. We almost gave the game away, but other than that,
is that you going to put that all on the offense, or does the defense take some responsibility for that as well?
The defense takes some of that heat, but I mean, we got to give.
Hey man, no coordinator is perfect. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, take some of the heat, but at the same time, you got to sustain. When you have a lead like that, you still need to sustain drives. You can give Gano some heat too because he missed a field goal, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, he missed one. I think that thing was super long though. I think it was like a 50+ yarder though. You can miss those. That's acceptable.
Yeah, that's fine. But the thing is, when you have like a 14-point lead, the big key, or it was a 17-point lead. The big key is you don't want to do 3 and outs. You want to have a drive that's longer than 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes. Like you want to have sustainable drives so you can clear the clock. And Shula's offense is based on that too. Like it's based on long sustained drives, like a quick score offense. Even though
that's Panther football, man. Dominating time of possession, man. That is Panther football to the T. That's what we do, man.
Yeah, I just get disappointed when I see us have that type of lead, and then my freaking heart's raising because we're really about to blow this.
I agree, man. It's super frustrating to have to, be up by. And I was watching the game at Mac's house, and I turned to Larry, and I was like, "Yo, we have to have a 2-possession lead going in, so we need to be up by at least 14 going into the fourth, and that way I feel comfortable." And that's exactly what we had. We had I think 17-point lead, and I was like, "Yo, we're good. Well, I think we're gonna hold on to it." But it's sad that you have to. We were dominating that game. We should have killed them. Like it should have been. And I feel the same way about the Patriots. We should have dominated. We dominated the Patriots for 3 quarters, and then the fourth quarter comes around, and then we can't stop anybody, and the offense can't move the ball. So I think it's big.
Be careful with that.
I know. I completely agree with you, and that goes to last year. We lost 6 games by 3 points, 3 or less points. So I think
we did it in 2015 too.
Yeah, no, we did. This is a habit.
It's habitual.
This is cardiac cat. Yeah, it is. It's habitual, and it's definitely something we got to fix. And you can't just so we're clear, you can't just blame Shula. You can't just blame the defensive coordinator. This is in our culture, and it's been in our culture. The cardiac cats, that was under DeLome and them and Fox. It's in our culture to wait and close and not close out games, man. So it just kind of is what it is. We got to find some way to stop doing that. But yeah, so I want to talk about a couple more people on the offense before we dive into the defense. Christian McCaffrey, man, he didn't do much, but he got his first professional touchdown. He had 5 catches for 31 yards. And the touchdown. So shout out to Christian McCaffrey for his first touchdown. Please don't call him a bust. But he for the first time, Jonathan Stewart actually outsnapped Christian McCaffrey, and you saw how the offense looked. You remember we both said, well, I don't know if you said it, but I know I said it was just too much McCaffrey. It was too much McCaffrey.
Yep.
And now that we're starting he comes in and he does his thing, but the offense isn't solely based around him. Now you're starting to see the offense tick. So I think that's a big part of it. Any thoughts on McCaffrey?
I think,
is he a bust, Dave?
No, he's not a bust. It's too soon. It's easy to say that he's a bust when you compare him to the other rookie running backs.
Like Tariq Cohen that we're watching right now?
And Kareem Hunt. It's just not fair.
Yeah, I'm just being devil's advocate, man, because you see what Fournette doing, you see what Cohen's doing, you see what
it's too soon.
Hey, I'm just playing devil's advocate, man. This is what the people are saying. This is what the people are saying.
Too soon. I want to give Shula. I want to have another reason to blame Shula, but I can't yet. It's too soon. Like, I mean, he touched the ball 8 times in this game, which is kind of low. You want him to get the ball close to 15 times, 10 to 15 times a game. And you want him to be primarily a receiver, be more of a receiver, which was what we saw. Like, he had 7 targets in that game yesterday. So that's what you want to see. It's good from that aspect. But, maybe we just reduce his carries but neither one of them ran the ball well at all. Like, between Stewart and McCaffrey, they ran the ball 21 times. Cam had 7 scrambles. They only got 28 yards rushing.
Yes, it was.
Count Cam's.
I think it was O-line too, man. That O-line, we couldn't. I mean, credit to the Lions defense though, man, because they're a good good run defense. So we played the game, we adjusted, and we ate in the air. That's just kind of is what it is.
Yep, because 28 yards rushing. Yeah, we did eat. We demolished in the air. I mean, they could be using McCaffrey as a decoy too, but like the target distribution.
Go ahead.
Okay, the target distribution Funches had the most targets with 8, then McCaffrey, then Kelvin. Dixon had 5. So Funches had 8, McCaffrey had 7, Kelvin had 6, Dixon had 5. So he's probably like our second most targeted receiver right now. He gets a lot of targets, a lot of short passes, which is good for Cam. Keeps Cam out of trouble. So you hope that keep happening. Receiver role. Be nice to see him and Stewart out there at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But the running game was not effective because of the Lions' defense. So I'm curious to see how it's going to go when we play the Eagles on Thursday, and see if we keep the same distribution between Stewart and McCaffrey when it comes to the carries.
All right, yeah. So let's oh, my bad, my fault. Go ahead.
And then I gotta give props to your boy, man. Your the guy who remains nameless.
Oh yeah, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. Matt Khalil. We can say his name based on that performance. Let's say his name, man. Matt Khalil.
Matt
you earned a shout
man.
out. He did good. Shout out to Matt. Matt, man. He was a shout out to Joe Person. He tweeted this. He said Matt Khalil was one of 5 tackles who didn't allow a pressure on Sunday. The first 3 games, he gave up 11 pressures. The last 2, he's only given up 2 pressures total. So he's getting better. He's getting better, and I don't know if y'all go to our Twitter, you can go see where he pancaked your boy Anza. He was balling. Matt was balling, man. Shout out to Matt, man. Shout out to Matt.
Yeah, I think this performance this week was more impressive than last week's, only because the Patriots don't really have a legit pass rush. The Lions do. For the most part, I mean, only 3 sacks. Cam got sacked 3 times, but for the most part, man, he was protected pretty well.
And to be fair to the offensive line, sometimes Cam does hold the ball way too long, and some of those a couple of them might have been on the O-line, but I think at least one of them, Cam held the ball way too long. So that's just kind of. But yeah, we got to hand out credit to Matt. He did his thing. We ain't taking you out of Panther Nation jail yet, but you earned some you earned some what they call that, John, when you get to go outside. You get to go outside and get some
you parole.
Yeah, you on parole, right? Yeah, you commit another offense, you got to come back in. You got to come back in front of the judge. But he did good, man. He did good. Another shout out.
Yep.
Another shout out. Let's shout out to Devin Funches. He went back home. I know we talked about him a little bit earlier, but he went back home to Detroit, led the team in receptions, and he had 7 receptions for 53 yards and a touchdown. Funches is Funches the number 1? I'm just asking the question.
I think he is.
I'm just asking the question.
I think he is for 2 reasons. Because of the Olsen injury, he's getting some of Olsen's targets because everybody's focused on Kelvin. So I think he's getting Olsen's targets. And when we get into the Philly game later in this episode, I'll get into detail about like what I think needs to happen to beat the Eagles on Thursday. But yeah, he definitely was the one. It seems like he's coming into his own to becoming the one, man. His hands are more reliable too than Kelvin.
He's definitely coming into his own, man. I'm proud of that dude. Consider him coming, from a tight end to converting to wide receiver. He's hungry. He's playing well. He's in his groove right now. He did it. He did his thing when Kelvin went down his rookie year too. But right now it just seems different. Like he's definitely doing his thing. He's really confident. He's playing confident. So shout out to Devin Funches, man. And he went off in front of his hometown crowd. That's always special. Any more shout outs on the offense?
No, we hit everybody. I think we hit everybody.
Let's talk about the defense for a second, man. Let's talk about a few shout outs. Shout out to K1 Short. He had 2 sacks, including a strip sack that resulted in Panthers turnover. Our first turnover in 4 games. He also had 3 tackles and 2 additional QB hurries. He was a beast. Yo, Matt Stafford was definitely under duress in that second half because they were moving the ball pretty easily the first quarter, early second quarter, and then we adjusted, and then he was running for his life the rest of the quarter, the rest of the game. Sorry. So anybody else you want to shout out? I'm gonna give a shout out to somebody you won't expect, but who you got?
Definitely Short. He balled out of his mind. I'm going to give a shout out to the entire defense, mainly because we sacked Stafford 6 times. We heard him another 7. So
that's crazy. That's impressive.
Yeah, I love the fact that we got after him, man. I love the fact that we got after him. I'm getting concerned about my boy Worley, man.
Oh yeah, he was getting destroyed, man. Getting destroyed.
It was
that first quarter, that first drive, man. He was getting destroyed. Yeah, it's like they had the game plan. We going after 26. Yeah, we going after 26. Play. Yeah, they was like we going after 26. I don't know, man. We gotta check on Worley, man.
So I'm gonna give you some interesting stuff on the snap counts on that too.
Go ahead, yo, do it.
Worley played 75% of the snaps. Seymour only played 25% of the snaps. So they're still looking like Worley's going to be the guy. So
yeah, he's definitely not, and maybe it's partially because they're going at him, but he got to do better. He got to do better because it ain't looking good. While we're on the secondary, man, I just got to give out a shout out to Colin Jones, man. Shout out to Colin Jones, man. He actually played okay. He didn't give up any huge plays. He had 5 tackles. It could have been worse. And he did all right.
Darius Byrd is sniffing up behind him, though. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Another thing about the snap count, played about 59% of the snaps. Darius Byrd played 39%. So that means he probably played other positions too. But the bottom line is that Darius Byrd he was getting on the field already often. He just got signed.
Yeah, that does say something, man, because you don't just get signed and thrown in the fire like that. So he definitely.
And it's a good. You got to remember, Jarius was in the because he played for the Saints, so he knows Atlanta, he knows Tampa Bay. So I can anticipate that snap count getting higher while Kirk Coleman's out.
Yeah, I definitely see Jarius Byrd taking over Colin Jones' spot, but he did okay. It could have been worse, man. We've seen some ugly games from Colin Jones, and this wasn't one of them. So, shout out to him. You know who I'm gonna say something that might throw some of the chat cats off and some of the Panther Nation off, but our linebackers were getting destroyed, man. How many times did you see Luke getting juked out of his shoes, man? It was Theo was torching. Luke missed a lot of tackles. I can remember 3 or 4 off the top of my head that I was like, wow, Luke, you really got juked out of your shoes, bro. Like there was a couple bad ones. But again, that's those quick, shifty running backs. He's Luke is great side to side. But our linebackers, man, they definitely weren't playing up to their normal standards because Shaq got beat on the Fells touchdown on the second one. And TD, he was cool. He recovered the fumble, but he hasn't. You ain't really heard his name like that being called ever since he hurt his rib. So I'm a little concerned about the linebackers, man. Hopefully they can either get healthy or kind of get it together because Luke missed a lot of tackles. Granted, we still won a game. It's not a big deal. But sheesh.
Yeah, man. Like, and it's funny because last week Theo Riddick didn't really get that much playtime like that because Dula was pretty much footing the load, and he was catching. And Dula was the one catching passes in the backfield last week. So when I saw Rig out there, I'm thinking to myself, "Oh man!" But Rig only had 5 targets. Man, like they didn't look that hot this week, and I was like, "Man, Darren Fells is like torching these dudes." You know,
Yeah,
torch Shaq one good time.
Yeah, he did.
I'm looking at this. Yeah, I'm looking at this Monday night score, and I'm like,
"Yeah, it's bad. This game's
really?
ugly." I keep looking up at it. It's a terrible game. But yeah, now so that pretty much wraps that game up. Just a side note, I was pretty darn close to my prediction. I predicted 28-25. Score is actually what, 27-24?
24. Yeah.
I'm pretty good. You predicted 27, so you got our 27-20. So you got our points perfect. But you didn't. Yeah. You didn't give the Lions. They're just due.
I did all right.
Yep, about 4.
We're 4-1. So I want to.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, shout out to Pep.
Yeah, I
want to talk about these power rankings, man, because you know they're going to be talking about power rankings tomorrow, and I'm going to say something that I know the chat cats might agree with. Some people might not. I think we're the best team in the NFC, yo.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. It's been floating already. That we the best team in the NFC. It's
yeah, because there's 3 4-1 teams right now: Philly, us, and Green Bay, and I think we're the best out of the 3. We're actually healthier than Green Bay, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I think that Philly, we're gonna have an idea in a couple days.
Well, yeah. Well, let's speaking of Philly, man, let's just go ahead and jump into it. But I do think we're gonna be. I haven't looked at the previous rankings, but we're definitely gonna be up in the top 7, top 5. Should be about top 5, really. Honestly,
we should be in the top 5. We should definitely be in the top 5.
We should be in the top 5.
Only teams I probably put ahead of us are the Chiefs.
The Chiefs are balling right now.
Yeah, the Chiefs are undefeated. So yes,
yeah, they're balling right now.
You get it. Yeah, the Chiefs. Then after that,
yeah, it's pretty much a crapshoot. Let me see what the week 5 power rankings were.
I mean, we're all 4-1, guys. So.
Yeah, we're looking good. So let me say this: is it too early to say this looks like the 2015 team? There's a lot of similarities going on between the two.
I wouldn't put. They're gonna put they put Green Bay at 2 last week, so that means they're probably gonna put Green Bay at 2 this week.
Yeah, and the Falcons
ahead of us.
Yeah, the Falcons they were on bye this week, and Denver was also on bye. Yeah, oops, sorry.
Broncos were on bye as well.
Yep. So I don't think we might move ahead of them by default, but I don't know.
Yeah, but one thing's for sure: we need to be ahead of the Patriots. We need to be ahead of Detroit. Detroit was a big win, so we should that should get us up in the top 5 at least. That should boost us up. They had us as 13.
That's disrespectful, man.
That should boost us up to the top 5. If we're below top 5, I need to understand how. Because we're better than Seattle. After what happened to Pittsburgh and Jacksonville, against Jacksonville, we're better than them. So yeah. All right.
Let's jump into this next game against the Philadelphia Eagles. It will happen. It will happen Thursday night, and I will be in attendance. Yeah, I'm going to that game. Yeah, I'm going to the Thursday night game. I like to hit the primetime joints. The Eagles, they are 4-1. They just destroyed Arizona. Let's talk about it. I found some interesting things. Let's call it stats with context. I'm gonna throw some stats out there, but then we got to get the context behind it. So let's talk about last week we talked about the rankings and kind of talk through the predictions and all that. Let's talk about the defense. So Carolina is currently ranked 8th in total yards against, 10th against the pass, 11th against the run, and 8th in points per game. So we're top 10 defense, which is right where we need to be.
Yep.
Philly, they're 24th in total yards, 30th against the pass, 4th against the run, 13th in points against per game. So that tells you they can definitely be thrown on. Their secondary is trash. Just like Green Bay. I mean, not Green Bay. I'm sorry, the Patriots. They're definitely down there against the pass.
They're good. They're good. They're good inside. Terrible outside. Like their DBs on the outside are horrifically bad. So you know.
Okay, so our defense were healthy for the most part. Got a couple injuries back there, but we're consistent. We've played against top offenses. Philly has not, and they're getting thrashed. I mean, you could see the teams they've played. They haven't played any good teams, to be honest with you. But let's go through their offensive rankings. Currently, Carolina is 12th in total yards, 13th in passing, 17th in rushing, and we're averaging 20. In average points per game, we're 18th, so we're averaging 21 points. Not too bad. We're getting better. We definitely had a rough first couple weeks, but you'll slowly start to see us climb up if we play the way we have been. Now, Philly's offense is pretty good according to these stats, but we're going to give you the context behind why I don't think their offense is that good. So they're 4th in total yards, 5th against they're 5th in passing, 4th in rushing. They actually lead the NFC in rushing. And they're averaging 27 points per game, which is tied for 6th in the league. They sound like they're pretty good on offense, right? Don't you think? Can we agree on that?
Sure.
Let's take a look at the teams they played. Their best win is against the Redskins, which is a division opponent. They're 2-2. Every other team is pretty much under 500. They lost to the Chiefs in week 2, which is they're 5-0, obviously. Next up, they had the 0-5 Giants. Then they had the 1-4 Chargers, who just got their first win against the Giants this week, and then they just beat the Cardinals, who are 2-3. None of those teams are good. They haven't played anybody. I mean, I'll give them credit for the Redskins win. That's a division opponent. Redskins defense is pretty good. That was week 1 though, and that's a division opponent. You kind of throw the rankings out the door when it comes to division opponents. So I'm going to say that their offense is good, but I don't think they haven't played a good defense. Even the Chiefs' defense isn't that good. The best defense they played was the Redskins, which they ranked 4th in total defense. But again, that was week 1.
Higher.
Huh?
I thought the Giants were higher, but I guess not anymore.
The Giants are trash. The Giants' defense is trash.
Oh, maybe because they have a better secondary. Why did I think the Giants had a better defense than that?
Yeah, they were supposed to, but the Giants' defense is trash. The Giants' defense is 28th in yards.
Oh yeah, Eli. I'm a hashtag Eli's fault. Eli's fault, man.
The Giants' defense is trash across the board. Even the Chiefs' defense isn't that good. I mean, they're not that. Nobody's defense is that good. The Cardinals are ranked 17th. They haven't played a good defense. So none of those are good run defense. None of those teams are good against the run. For instance, the Redskins are 7th, the Chiefs are 21st, Giants 29th against the run, Chargers are last against the run, and the Cardinals are 14th against the run. So they haven't played a good run defense. That's why they lead the NFC in rushing. So you got to get the context behind these context against these stats, because they might be good, and I think we'll be tested a little bit, but we play better offenses in my opinion.
Yeah, we played the Patriots.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we've actually won. We won really. We beat some good teams. We beat the Bills, who have a winning record. They're 3-2 right now. We beat the Patriots, who have a winning record. They're also 3-2. We beat the Lions, who are 4-2 right now. 3-2, whatever it is.
They're 3-2. Yeah, they're 3-2.
Yeah, so we played some actual tough opponents. I don't think Philly's played anybody yet, and they lost to the team.
Yeah.
Other than the Chiefs, and they lost to them pretty handily too. So I think we're gonna be fine. We're gonna be at home. The bank's gonna be rocking.
Lane Johnson is out. Lane Johnson is out for the Eagles.
They declared him out?
I think he's going to be out, man. Like, he there's no way he's going to clear the concussion protocol between now and Thursday.
Yeah.
No way. No way.
So just for some background, Lane Johnson is the starting right tackle, which is going to be feast. It's going to be feast season when you don't have your stuff.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be some problems.
Yeah.
What else?
The only thing that scares me with the Eagles right now is Carson Wentz, man. Because he likes to sling it down the field. But holes there. From a secondary standpoint that I'm nervous about, particularly Worley. So I have some reservations about that. Other than that, I think before in the offseason, I picked us to lose because it was a primetime game, and we have a habit of not showing up when the lights are on primetime in these Thursday night games and these Sunday night games and these Monday night games. So this is the one I thought we were going to catch that fade on. With the fact that Lane Johnson is not, I don't think he's going to make it through the concussion protocol. That's going to help our defense a lot. And that should reduce the amount of time Wentz gets to have to throw the ball. But he's got some speed. He's got some pretty decent speed out there that he can throw it to. And this might be Alshon's easiest secondary he's had to deal with, too. Because Alshon's been running to legit shut down corners. Bradbury is going to be a formidable opponent, but I think Alshon might be able to do more things that he's been able to do.
Yeah, so since we're talking about what we're kind of worried about, only thing I'm worried about is the big play. Eagles have been beating dudes with the big play all year. Aguilar, those guys is going to get behind the defense. We can't give up the big play. So I think we've done pretty well all season about containing the big play. So I think hopefully we can do well with that. Contain the big play. I don't know if Fletcher Cox is going to play. He's been out the past 2 weeks, so he may be ready to return. I'm not sure, but they're banged up. I'm not worried. Do we need to be worried about Blunt? I don't know.
No, it's funny. You know who the rusher that was balling out of control yesterday? Barner, Keyshawn Barner. Y'all guys remember him?
Yeah, he used to play for us.
Yeah, he played for us. We drafted a guy, he didn't make the team, but we traded him. If I remember correctly, we traded him over to Philly. It's funny because, I went back in the game between earlier today, and the one thing I noticed was it looks like Barner earned his time to get the carries with the punt returns that he was doing. Like, he had a good return.
Sproles is out too, though. Sproles got hurt. We'll open it up.
Sproles out. Smallwood was out as well. But they thought this kid, Chris Clement, was going to get some of that burn. But Barner Barner took a lot of that work from him. They didn't really play Blunt till near the end of the game. That was just to close out the game, so to speak. But Barner got a decent chunk of carries.
Yeah, so we gotta focus on the run because our run defense has been kind of suspect. I said it last week too that we kind of got to worry about the run. But yeah, I think we'll be fine. Like I said, this will be the best defense they've seen. Other than the Redskins, I kind of give the Redskins a pass. It was week 1. This is going to be the best complete defense they've seen in a while. It's since week 1. So, and it's on a short week. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game than we anticipate. Thursday night games typically are. I don't know. I mean, what you got? Any more thoughts on it?
I think Barner. I think
just to address one thing, Cardinals' run defense isn't that good. They're 14th in the league. By the way, they're not that great.
Okay. Now, I just think that overall, I mean, my nervousness comes from the way Carolina has a habit of showing up on primetime. I just hope they show up. I hope they show up on Sunday. I hope they show up on Thursday. I'm able to beat the Eagles. This will be the Eagles' toughest test by far. Like, other than the Chiefs, obviously, but like when it comes to like whether or not they're going to be legit, because they're running with the NFC East right now, and we have an opportunity to continue being first place in the NFC South. So this is going to be a big game. I know that Thursday night games are typically low scoring, but I think this might be one of the better ones that we get to see, believe it or not. And they've actually had Thursday night football this year so far has been actually pretty decent. We're looking at 3-2 at the half. Baseball scores at halftime over here.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think they'll pick it up next half. But yeah, man. So you got a score prediction?
31.
Sheesh.
I think we're going to score some points. We're going to have to. 31-24.
All right.
Panthers.
I'm gonna go just because I said it's gonna be low scoring. I gotta stick with that. I do kind of like. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna say 20. Is that low score? That's low scoring. 20-17 Panthers.
You got to keep it close, and you know why.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I said 2017. That's close.
Always
a field goal, bro. Always,
you know what's going to end up happening.
It's always going to be a one-possession game.
It'll probably be your score. We'll be up like 17-3.
Yeah,
going into the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And then we give up a big play. The big play probably to Nelson Aguilar, and then we'll probably give another one to Torrey Smith. And then we're going to kick the game-winning field goal at the end. And it'll be 2017 Carolina. But we'll be 5-1 with 10 days rest.
Yeah, I think Philly's beatable, man. I think Philly's beatable.
Yeah,
I think we are starting to prove that I think we're proving that we can we can hang with the top of the NFC. This is another statement win that'll go a long way for us in the playoff race as well. This is like you said last week with the tiebreakers and all that stuff. This could be another one that could propel us to home field advantage. This is the kind of things we got to start positioning ourselves for now. It's looking good, fella. We are looking good, and ladies. Let me not pull a Cam Newton, fellas and ladies. We're doing good. We're looking good right now. Complete team, right? The offense is looking good. Defense is looking good. And the last time that happened, you know what happened. So I think we're ready. We're playing well right now.
I think we're getting there. Now I'm curious about the rest of the schedule because now we're going to have 10 days rest.
We got Tampa after that. I think Tampa at Ray J.
No, we don't. We got Shy. We got the John Fox reunion. Yeah, we got the John Fox reunion, man.
We can beat Chicago. I'm not worried about Chicago. I ain't worried about Chicago. We need to focus on these division games. After Philly, we got to start getting these division games because it's going to be tough. Tampa and the Falcons. when the Saints again.
Yeah, it gets interesting. Like we got the Bears. After Philly, we got Chicago. It's at Chicago, at Tampa, home to against Atlanta, home against Miami, and then we got a bye week, and then we go to the Jets. I'm gonna be at that game when we go to the Jets.
I ain't worried about the Jets. I ain't worried about Miami. We looking good right now, fellas and ladies. I love it. I think we're playing well. As long as we stay healthy and keep pounding, man. Oh, speaking of keep pounding, I think somebody else said it here earlier, but that was on my show notes. October 13th, this Friday, Story of Sam Mills on the NFL Network. I don't know the time. Somebody can chat. Somebody in chat probably knows it, what time it comes on. But definitely going to be watching that, man. Yeah, I'm excited. Sam Mills is super dope. You see him in the background right there. Right there. That's him. Yeah. Super dope, man. Keep pounding. But yeah, we got anything else in this game?
Nah, man. Nah, I think we're good. I think we got this one in the bag. We can talk about fantasy real quick. Show you guys how awful my team is.
Yeah, because I told you you're gonna get thrashed.
Destroyed, man. This is
nobody's
good for the culture.
Nobody's beating my squad.
Don't say that, man.
I'm telling you, man. Yo, nobody's beating my squad, yo. I'm going undefeated.
Now we can't have you running the table, man. We can't have those things happen. We can't have such
table
things.
Will be ran. Table will be ran.
Yeah, I know you're gonna beat me. That's for sure. My team is terrible, and it doesn't make anything better when you got to freaking score 3-2.
Yeah, Howard got that TD call back on a hold. You would have been straight. It would have helped a little bit. Not much, but.
So here are the score charts right now. We got all this mediocrity going on over here. The big thing that I'm concerned with right now.
Damn, Dave. 139 to 65, bro.
Word, man. I'm on 90.
Rub CMC. What was that last week?
I want to be sitting at 2-3, which is not encouraging. If 4 or 6 teams make the playoffs in this league, I can't remember right now.
Yo, you ask that every week. I think it's 4.
Oh man, I got to step it up, man. I got time though.
Who I got next week?
2 and 3.
Who trying to get this work next week? Oh, Simpson. You about to catch the fade, Jay Simp. You about to get this. You about to get this work.
Both of y'all quarterbacks on bye though.
Hey, I stream quarterbacks anyway, so I ain't worried about it.
This dude got Bell and Hunt, man. And y'all playing each other too.
And Gillisley.
Chiefs and Steelers are playing next week.
I got Gillisley too.
You got Gillisley, but you're playing Douglas, man. You playing Doug Martin.
And I got Doug.
Yeah, man, this is ridiculous. All right, who do I have next week? And I'm projected to lose. Awesome. Must have other people on bye. Me and Ray gonna have the same record. We're both gonna be sitting at 2 and 3. I must have a few folks on bye next week. I sure do. Tyrod Taylor and Zeke. I think we're gonna find out whether or not Zeke's getting suspended too, man.
Oh, I thought that was already
there's
decided,
talks.
man.
Nah, fam. They're gonna have another decision made.
Man, get that dude out of here, man.
They're gonna have a decision made during the bye week, from what I understand. So we'll see how that goes. We shall see how that goes. Because, man, listen. If I lose Zeke, man, I might be in deep trouble.
All right, we got anything else? Because your boy is about to go to bed.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that too. I might watch the rest of this game This gonna be a tough watch. Man, I can't fathom this freaking halftime score right now.
Yo, I think Diggs only got one catch, and that's because Keenum got in the game.
What happened to Bradford?
Yo, I think somebody rolled into his knee. I think he came back in the next series, but Keenum's definitely out there right now.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm ready to end it if you're ready to end it, my man.
All right, you know where I'm at.
Thank you for listening to the Panther Nation podcast hosted by Rashad and David. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel at Panther Nation Podcast. You can also like our Facebook page at Panther Nation Podcast. While you're at it, follow us on Twitter at Panther Nation PC. And always remember, keep pounding. Keep pounding, fam.
Peace out, peeps.